Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Sanders. Welcome to the Chris Sanders YouTube channel. In any case, I want to talk about a couple of things here on my agenda. So first, and now first I want to talk about something that happened in Wisconsin, where you had some hospital workers. They were working long hours, they're working hard at the job, and then they decide, they ask their employer for raise, for benefits, all that. So then the employer says no, they can't afford it, blah blah blah. Hospital workers decide to go get a job somewhere else at a different hospital. The previous hospital they worked at goes and gets a judge to tell the hospital workers that they are not legally allowed to leave or something like that. I'm like, this is like, they told the judge told the workers that they cannot leave their old hospital until the old hospital is able to hire replacements. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in a minute. And I mean, everything seems to be ridiculous right now. I'm like, this is some literal bullshit. Like, I mean, the judge has got to go. And if I were the workers, I'd go over there anyway. And if I were the hospital, the other hospital that's hiring them over there, giving them the better benefits and the better salary, all that, I would bring them over there anyway and say, sue me. Oh, sue me. Sue me. Let's take this to the Supreme Court. We'll see who's going to win in the Supreme Court of the United States, because if you don't even have the right to work where you want to work, when you want to work, in a right to work state, that is some bullshit. We aren't doing slavery here in the United States. I don't even know why Wisconsin is putting up with it. We cannot allow the judicial system to be run this way, where they're telling people that they don't have a right to do whatever they want to do for work, for their bodies. They're like, for a federal judge to be telling people that they're forced to work. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And there's no crime committed? I don't think so. Even if there was a crime committed, I don't think so. Oh my fucking God, it pisses me off. I can't even believe that this is even a story. Like, can you believe that this is that we're even talking about something like this right now in 2022? Holy shit, man. I mean, holy fucking cow. Like, look guys, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what the judge was thinking. I mean, like, you know, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd say, "Sorry, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take my other job and you're going to deal with it. You're going to yeah, send the police over and send them over because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." Woo, boy, I would not do it. Mm-mm. You're gonna have to put me in jail or something, or because, good lord, I'd be throwing suits left and right. I mean, and I actually think the appellate courts in Wisconsin, in and around Wisconsin area of the country, the Midwest, I think they should get involved immediately and say, no, we're going to vacate that judgment immediately. We're not going to allow this. We're not going to tolerate it. That's what needs to happen. The appellate court, the appellate federal court needs to say, no, we're going to take this up and we are not going to allow this type of bullshit to go on while we are sitting here at these benches. We ain't doing slavery in 2022. We ain't doing forced labor in 2022. I mean, that is complete bullshit. In any case, um, sorry for my foul language, but I mean, it's what I got right now. Um, how do you all feel about, working people in an at will state? They didn't sign a contract or anything. And even if they did, if they want to break it, then they can pay financial restitution or something. But they didn't have a contract. They're like wage work, salary work, not contract work. And so, how do you all feel about people being forced to work against their own will? Like, holy moly, I do not. Let me repeat. I do not like the precedent that this sets going forward. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Holy moly, I can't even. I'm struggling to process what what would what was the judge thinking? I mean, have they completely lost their mind? Holy moly! Um, so in other news, look, watch this video real quick with me. Watch this video. It's a hot mess, a hot mess. Let's watch it.
Over 1.6 million subscribers. Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid by corporate America?
Yeah, so there's some misconceptions about the movement. So we're a movement where we want to reduce the amount of work that people feel like they're forced to do. And so we want to still put in effort, we want to put in labor, but we don't want to necessarily be in a position where we feel trapped. You just quoted from Office Space where that person feels very trapped in their job. I think we're calling for a society where there's less of that. But yeah, absolutely, people still want to do things. They just want to do things where they feel rewarded and they feel like they're in a good spot in their life, and that their job respects them and stuff like that. There's varying.
So Doreen, you're not being forced to work. This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment. And, you can walk away from that job at any time and quit. So I don't understand really what this is about, except it sounds like maybe people are just being lazy. Are you encouraging people to be lazy?
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where people constantly want you to be productive 24/7, and it's good to have rest. That doesn't mean you should be resting all the time or not putting effort into things that you care about. But I think one of the
what do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal society?
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And how?
So
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay. And is there something you want to do besides being a dog walker? Do you aspire to do anything more than dog walking, or is that kind of your pinnacle?
I love working with dogs. If I had to do this for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be super complaining. Dogs are wonderful animals. But I would love to teach. I would love to work with people and stuff like that.
What would you teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly.
Philosophy.
Just introductory philosophy, critical thinking, reason, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your class, Doreen. I would just be taking notes the whole time, and you know what? A professor's a very similar schedule than something that you're imagining. So I think that actually might work perfectly for you. Listen, I think this might not be the greatest idea, but who am I to judge? To each their own, they say. It's a free country.
Sure.
Not everything's free, but it is a free country. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We got to run. We got to pay the bills.
Okay, so here are some initial thoughts. So I didn't think So many people online think he did a terrible job. I didn't think he did so bad. I think the idea that I think he's devaluing the work that I actually think that he's this Reddit moderator is devaluing the work that he currently does. He's not accounting for all of it, and he's not accounting for the money that he's not getting paid for doing it. So, so basically, what happened is there is a Reddit, there was a anti-work Reddit that this person created or was handed it down to him, whatever. It has 1.6 million followers on the Reddit. 1.6 million members. 1.6 million members of this person's Reddit. Okay, that's over a million people going to this Reddit, reading it, looking at it, and he is the moderator. So he was going through reading every single comment and like, no, that's not good. No, you can't have child porn on here. No, you can't do X on here. No, you can't do racism on here. Like he's going through all the you can't harass or bully somebody else on here. He's going through all that with 1.6 million followers and people posting, their anti-work stories. So I used to go to this Reddit. That's the only reason why I was paying attention to this story is because I follow this Reddit and I see this guy on Fox News of all places, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna try and get you, but I mean he really didn't even have to try because I mean, I think Doreen didn't do themselves the most favors, and I mean he explained him, they explained themselves well at first. But, you know, okay, so you work 20 to 25 hours a week dog walking. Yeah, I probably, okay, dogs need to be walked. I mean, you don't need them, taking a dump all over your house or peeing all over your house. But, I don't know. And you're 30 years old on top of that. I don't know. And that's like what your only job is. But you're managing a forum with 1.6 million people that are members. That's not all the people that are reviewing. Those are just the people who are members. 1.6 million. And the people who are commenting, probably even way more than that. And so and you're moderating this forum for a billion-dollar corporation that is probably planning to go public any minute now. Reddit is a big company. They're probably they're very popular. Everybody reads it, or a lot of people read it, whatever. It's a rich corporation, and he was able to cultivate a community of 1.6 million people. And and he doesn't count moderating that as work. So he doesn't even count the work that they don't even count the work that they're doing as work. That's how screwed up America's concept of work is that people who are doing a ton of work to help billion-dollar corporations for free. They're working for free. Keep in mind, running a forum is a lot of work, and they're doing it for free. And they don't even think that qualifies as work or that qualifies as hours. So I would wager he's probably working he ain't working 20 to 25 hours a week. He's working more like 40 to 45 to 60 hours a week, because I suspect the Reddit job of managing all the comments for the whole world, going on your Reddit or being able to see your Reddit is probably a lot more work than, walking dogs for 20 to 25 hours a week. And so that's why he feels like he needs to work less on walking dogs. I almost feel like Reddit should be paying the moderator of a forum of this size. I feel like Reddit should be paying the people something to moderate the forum, and for the fact that they were able to cultivate the audience for this billion-dollar corporation, to the tune of 1.6 million followers, which is very extreme. So I want to read some of the comments on this topic within this post or in our videos here. And we got Reddit mod gets laughed at on Fox News. Okay, that's a little extreme title, but whatever. We just watched the video. Yeah. So, first guy. I've been on this platform for 9 years now. This is without a doubt the most Reddit video I've ever seen. Oh my God. And then let's read some of the other ones. Okay. I don't want to read that one. I don't know if I. Well, let's look at this. So, this guy has a comment here. There are truly too many comments from that mod to screenshot all, but some of the memorable ones. Okay, so they're talking about how so after the interview, the mod had a meltdown. So they just made the sub private as I was reading the mod in question, egotistical meltdown. A great look, guys. Thanks for showcasing the plight of the working class in such a great light. I don't think it was as bad as they saying, like truly, I don't think it was as bad as they saying, but they definitely didn't, they probably didn't win over any converts with that interview. And of course, that was the goal of Jesse Waters, is to, he was looking to poke fun, but the problem is you almost felt you feel sorry for the guy who's, but in the guy's defense, he's undervaluing the work that he's already done and been doing, severely undervaluing the work that he's been doing. So this guy's talking about his comments. I want to read something else. So they made the AntiWork forum private. And this guy, he's like, dude went on national TV and all they got said was, I'm a 30-year-old that works 20 hours a week with walking dogs. I want to teach others critical thinking. Don't forget, I want to work less. God, there's so many things wrong with that statement. Ugh. When a Fox News host is getting flustered and hostile and begins talking over you, it's a good sign. When a Fox News host is polite, cordial, and allows you to keep talking, only interrupting to ask you more questions, well, that's a sure sign you are screwing up. So, good answer. It's not about being lazy. It's about being pro-union, pro-workers' rights, people knowing their true value and being paid a living wage. Doreen's answer. Laziness is a virtue. Oh my God, I can't make this up. Laziness, well, certainly in the computer science world, laziness is a virtue in the computer science world from the perspective of you automating things, automating the work that you would normally manually have to do yourself. So automating busy work. From that perspective, Doreen is absolutely right. But in general, probably wouldn't have used that for this interview, because most of the workers I know, they are proud of the work they're doing. They are proud to work hard. Me, I prefer to work smart. Um, because, that's the best way to work. So then let's go on forward. The thread when it was on was hilarious. They're talking about us. Finally, something will change. Lol, I don't know if you've been over there, but the whole sub is imploding. The mod from the video is on a ban hammer spree. It's pretty crazy. Wow. I cannot put into words how satisfying it was to watch the stereotype of a Reddit mod come to life. Even more so, a Reddit mod that runs an AntiWork subreddit that often gets misconstrued as a place for people that don't want to work. That's exactly the message that he sent. LMNA, wow. And then this guy chimes in. This is probably one of my favorite comments. This mod runs a sub and works for free, spending tens of hours each week to do so. For a $1 billion company about to IPO. Peak irony. I have to agree. Like, what do you? Of course, you want to work less. You're slaving away over your forum that has 1.6 million people that are members. That doesn't include the people that are reading or commenting or anything like that. That's just members who joined. So that's pretty astounding. This guy, LMAO, this 30-year-old dog walker is one of the goons that talked down to me for interjecting real-world labor union shop experience in comments in our AntiWork. Wow. All the jokes about stereotypical mod appearance aside, they really did a poor job at answering the host's questions. I mean, it sounds like they don't even know what the sub is about. I particularly liked how they want to teach philosophy if the dog walking thing doesn't work out. I mean, good Lord. I mean, I shouldn't, go in too hard, but like, truly, I love that forum. They were the ones who were like, that was where I found out about the previous story, was on the AntiWork forum, was about how the workers were sued, and the judge blocked them or temporarily blocked them from taking a job somewhere else. I'm like, no, I'm a grown adult. I'm going to do what I want to do. No, I am not working for your goddamn hospital, with the sick patients and being underpaid and treated like dirt. No, you can just suck it up. I'm going over here. You do that, sue me, fine me, throw me in jail, but I'm doing this. Like, that's how I would be. And I dare you to try and stop me. Or, I'd probably do something like, I'm going to work in a different state. Like, don't try me with stuff like that. I will, I am, I don't want to say too much, but I don't like that. If only. Yeah, I thought AntiWork was about striving for better wages, better support in the workplace, and this guy somehow managed to miss every core concept that the sub stands for. If only he had worked harder on his answers. I mean, good grief. Worked harder. How about worked at all? 100% cringe fest, giving mass media every negative talking point they could ask for. I mean, I don't want to make fun too much, but I mean, good grief. Oh boy. I'm like, wow. I mean, he probably did more. Well, at least he got everybody talking about workers, but I don't know. I guess now everyone's gonna think they're all lazy when they're not. The people who are doing the work are actually the hardest working people that are working. A lot of these other people, like the CEOs and all that, they aren't working that hard. They are getting stock, and the stock is, you know, is going up, and that's what they're relying on. That's where they're making their money. They're not making their money doing work. They're making their money uh, having money, like just having money at all. Um, that's how a lot of people are making money, particularly in the finance industry. They're making money off of money. They aren't adding any value, at least with like the tech and all that. They're like adding some value somewhere along the line, either entertainment value or news value, information value, advertising value. Financial stocks, they're just people skimming off the top. Sometimes they, like the early investors and all that, okay, maybe they're providing a service to society, but everyone else is just skimming off the top. They're just an extra middleman. Okay, wait. Their backup plan from being a dog walker is to teach philosophy? Are we sure this whole thing wasn't performance art? It is all way too on the nose. Okay, backup plan is the wrong choice of words. You are correct, fellow Redditor. You underestimate the depths of delusion the average Redditor, much less subreddit mod, has. The interview was such a great study in how the hardcore Redditor thinks the world works, goes into an echo chamber subreddit, gets upvoted constantly, thinks he knows about the world, ventures out to other subreddits, acts like he knows everything, gets upvoted, ventures out into the real world and gets totally destroyed, goes back to Reddit, even more bitter and out for revenge. Bonus points if their strongest claim to knowledge is the classic, as a mod of XY. Yeah, this guy's got it on the nose also. Exactly. Almost every subreddit has some echo chamber feel, constantly getting positive feedback while shutting down criticism. I couldn't imagine meeting some of these people in real life. How do they survive? You know what? That's how I felt about the New York forum, the New York City forum, the Reddit, the New York, it's just like a bunch of like, you know, people stuck in the house. They've never interacted with anybody outside of their house, a lot of them. And they're like, oh, well, crime is okay. And then if I say like, oh, well, the crime is going to impact the black neighborhood more than the white one, and therefore we should do something about the crime because the black people are going to be the most likely victims of crime. So we should probably help black people by keeping our mine, other black people's neighborhoods safe using the police force or any other, the police force and, any other means like economic assistance and health care and mental health care, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I get downvoted a lot for, I even got banned once for saying that, hate Asian hate isn't good, and it's not acceptable even when black people do it, and we shouldn't make excuses for why black people are doing it. Most of the time, people just taking advantage of what they think is the easiest target and what they can get away with. Period. Full stop. And in my opinion, if you can make that kind of calculation, that means you're not mentally unstable. That means you just did it. And I got downvoted for that, which I didn't agree with, but whatever. I'm used to being criticized. I'm black. I get criticized every which way. I'm black and gay. Get criticized from all the different angles. And while I'm a liberal on most economic issues, almost all of them, but I realize I'm just not with I'm not with the crime, I'm not with the guns, I'm not with the drugs. Like, do I think we should decriminalize drugs? Absolutely. Um, do I, want it all over my neighborhood? And no, I don't want my neighborhood. I don't think people's kids should be like exposed to drug addicts while they're using, while they're strung out. They don't need to see that. They don't need to see that. That isn't fair. Um, in any case, so moving on. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if we got anything else that's interesting. This guy is true Reddit gold. A trans, autistic, unprepared Reddit moderator. It was exactly what Fox News wanted, and I have to agree. They totally took advantage of this. But to be honest, I don't think he was as bad as everybody's saying. Like, I actually thought, his first few comments and stuff were just fine. And even the last ones, the first time I read it, I was like, holy moly. I was like, okay, so this guy's unprepared for this type of interview. Um, but all right. Um, you know, I don't mean like wear a suit or anything, but Fox News is gonna try it. If, and so you have to be prepared for them to try it. Okay. Oh, this guy gets it. You have been banned from this subreddit permanently. If you have questions as to why, ask away. User, why have I been banned? You have been muted permanently. See, yeah, that is what they do. Because a lot of times Reddit moderators are delusional. Totally delusional. Totally delusional. So, but, there's a remedy for that. Start your own Reddit. Um, you know, let's see here. Anything else? Okay. Oh, this guy. I want to read this one. Okay. I can't even get through the whole video because it's making me cringe so goddamn hard. I don't claim to know much about anti-work movement, but I don't think they could have picked a worse person to lead their cause. The absolute picture perfect personification of a Reddit mod. We've seen this before when subs get their mainstream attention. People can't resist their 15 minutes. That's so true, but I mean, you still need to prepare for 15 minutes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people being trans or autistic or any of those things. But you do have to be somewhat prepared, and you do have to be guarded, and at least initially to find your until you find your way. But again, I don't think he's as bad as a lot of these people are saying, but I definitely didn't come away with that didn't feel like a win to me. It felt like, to be honest, it looked like Jesse was trying not to laugh, and then it just kept getting worse, and it's like it's almost not even fun anymore. And so by the end of it, he's like, okay, well, I got to pay the bills. I mean, he's making jokes, but it's just not that funny because, I mean, you see this person and, you know, can you picture them functioning, you know, beyond what they're already doing? Probably not, but I mean, they cultivated a following of 1.6 million users. So they are capable of a lot more than many of these people are giving them credit for. Like, because, I don't have 1.6 million people using my forum. Like, say what you want, but and their content was really good. Like, I don't know how they were able to do it. It doesn't even really matter because their content was so dead on, and look, the story I just did, they were the ones who where I first saw it like several days ago. In fact, no one had seen it, no one had reported on it until this anti-work subreddit got a hold of it. So, I mean, hats off to these guys, hats off to Doreen, you know, get it, bitch. Like, like everybody's dragging you, even me a little bit, but, you slay. Don't let anybody tell you different. You slay. You represented yourself the way you wanted to be represented, and you have nothing to be ashamed of. And that is my conclusion to this story. But everyone, let's make it a great day. Have a good night.